Good morning. I'm Hassan Giordano, and this is your DMV Daily Dose for Wednesday, November the 6th, 2019.
It's currently clear and 42 degrees in Baltimore. Today's high will be 57 degrees, and the low will be 42.
The Baltimore Ravens signed wide receiver and return specialist DeAnthony Thomas and released cornerback Maurice Kennedy in a corresponding move, the team announced on Tuesday. The signing comes one day after Coach John Harbaugh called his special teams unit inconsistent. And our 7th-ranked Maryland Terps men's basketball team opened up the season last night with a much-needed victory. One thing is apparent after Tuesday night's 95-71 season open win over Holy Cross at the Xfinity Center is that junior guard Daryl Morsell and the rest of the bench showed how many options Coach Turgeon has at his disposal. Morsell, who scored 12 of his 15 points in the first half, including 8 points in a span of less than 4 minutes, that helped the Terps turn a small early deficit into a 51-39 halftime lead. Democrats took full control of the Virginia legislature for the first time in more than 2 decades on Tuesday night, while the race for governor in a deeply Republican Kentucky was too close to call, despite a last-minute boost from President Donald Trump. In Kentucky, Democratic challenger Andy Beshear declared victory in the governor's race over Republican incumbent Matt Bevin, though Bevin has not yet conceded. And in Virginia, Democrats flipped control of the state Senate and the House, gaining outright control of state government in a state that is often a battleground for the White House. In Maryland elections yesterday, the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners will have 3 new members after Donna Cahill, Kevin Bianca, and Aaron Hughes emerged from a crowded field of 9 candidates in Tuesday's election. For the first time, women will make up the majority on the Board of Commissioners, with Cahill and Hughes joining Amy Schmlowski. Bianca and Patrick Richards will be the men on the board. And in Aberdeen, Patrick McGrady won a second 4-year term as mayor of Aberdeen on Tuesday night, nearly doubling the vote total of his challenger, sitting city councilman Melvin Taylor. Adam Hyab, Jason Colleagues, and incumbent Sandra Ledbeck, and Tim Lindekamp won seats on the city council, all running unopposed. And according to Ben Smith, the executive director of the Maryland Democratic Party, who tweeted that Democrats in Maryland defended their seats in Salisbury, including one being contested by Republican Congressman Andy Harris staffer, and flipped 2 council seats from Republican to Democrat in Chestertown. And in other election news, the Baltimore Brew is reporting on 3 individuals running to topple City Council member Robert Stokes in the city's 12th Councilmatic District. Gary Crum points to a dark trail of blood staining the East Federal Street sidewalk. A few days before, a man was shot while attempting to rob someone in their home, then ran away dripping blood. Down the street, Crum sees Earl Johnson, the president of the Oliver Community Association, and they talk about the shooting. Crum says that there's no urgency. This 37-year-old who was vying to unseat the 12th District Councilman Robert Stokes Sr. in the 2020 Democratic primary. Crum, who spent most of his life in Oliver, joined 2 other challengers a few days later at a candidates forum as they offered their take on the needs of the East Baltimore District, which struggles with pockets of extreme poverty, blight, and crime. David Hauker and Philip Westry differed in style and, in some cases, approach from Crum, but they all strongly agreed on one point. They said that the incumbent, who did not attend the event, appears indifferent to the district's problems. Quote, he doesn't show up at association meetings. He doesn't show up at things like this. He believes he's entitled to this job, and he's not, said Philip Westry, addressing the audience gathered at Remington's Our House Food Hall last month. Now, Westry, who is a public interest lawyer, was on a roll, comparing Stokes to council members who represent other parts of town. He said that the 12th District doesn't have a direction. Quote, Ryan Dorsey loves bikes, Zeke Cohen loves kids and education, Eric Costello loves buildings and development. What does Robert Stokes love? Westry asked. It's certainly not East Baltimore because it's not his neighborhoods. Robert is a very kind human being, said Heichler, a graphic designer and neighborhood activist, speaking with the Baltimore Brew. But right now, it's like we have one fewer district in the city. Find out more on these candidates and on things that Councilman Stokes says that he has accomplished in his first term over at the Baltimore Brew. Now, the Baltimore Sun's Jessica Anderson is reporting on the fact that more of Maryland's prison population is African American here in Maryland than in any other state in the nation, a new report found. More than 70% of Maryland's prison population was black in 2018, compared with 31% of the state population, according to this report. That rate far surpasses the next closest states, which is Mississippi, South Carolina, and Georgia, researchers found. The national average is 32% of a state's prison population being black. Quote, the rates of incarceration for young black males is the highest of anywhere in the country, said Mark Schindler, executive director of the Justice Policy Institute, a Washington, D.C. nonprofit that aims to reduce incarceration. He goes on to say that a state that views itself as quite progressive should really be quite concerned about these numbers. Now, according to the Baltimore Police Department's Facebook page, a 50-year-old man and a 31-year-old man died of gunshot wounds suffered less than an hour apart Tuesday night in Baltimore. 4 others were injured in 3 separate shootings a few hours earlier. This brings Baltimore to 289 homicides, a dozen away from once again exceeding 300 homicides for the 5th straight year. I'm your man, Mr. Politics, and this has been your Daily Dose for Wednesday, November the 6th, 2019. For more information on the articles that I've mentioned, just go on over to our website, www.DMVDailyNews.